Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Hope and Coffee. Hi, it's me, Hope, and with me is our little gingerbread man and his cup of coffee. And we are doing a little bit of a check in since it's kind of been a minute since I've been able to share an episode with you all. So, this particular episode is going to be a check in. It is going to let you guys know how my November was. It's going to kind of give you a little sneak preview into what's going on in December. And just in general, talk about the holidays a little bit. I don't know about you, but sometimes the holidays can be really difficult. And for me, sometimes it can get really heavy, both mentally and sometimes even physically. And so I needed to take a little bit of a break just for parts of November, as I needed to focus on things out here in what I call IRL, in real life, and just kind of allow myself to focus on a couple of individual things instead of so many things that I was trying to focus on in the month of November. So, we will go ahead and kind of get into it. I will say that my November started really, really great, really strong. And at the very beginning of November, I went to my cousin's wedding in Michigan, which I know I shared with you all, but that was the first thing I kind of did, which was an absolute celebration of my cousin Christy and her new husband's uh, marriage. And I cannot be more happy that I was able to share that with them, that I was able to help them in some significant ways to make sure the day came off that without a hitch. And just so grateful I could be there to share that with them. And I certainly wish them absolutely nothing but the best. I do wish more family could have come because I think it was gorgeous. I think what they were able to pull off was beautifully done, and the location was stunning. So honestly, it was very fairy book like, in my opinion. I even got a picture with my cousins that I think I'm going to get printed because I don't think I have gotten a picture with those particular three cousins probably ever. And so I definitely think it's going to deserve a frame in my very near future. Next on the list, well, gosh, what else did I do in November? Well, we had Thanksgiving, but my co-host on the podcast also had a baby. Well, one of my two co-hosts, she had a baby, and so congratulations to her. That was such a big, big step in her life. Now she's already had one, and so this is her second. So her family is growing, and could not be more happy for her. But that did mean that she needed to take a little bit of a back seat on the podcast. Not a problem. Of course, it is 100% understandable that she needs to focus on her family and the health of her new little one. And so, my other co host, she has taken a little bit of a mental health break. So I was kind of working on the podcast in a little bit of a solo capacity, which is honestly not hard in some respects, but we've had to go from doing one episode a week to every other week, and I've been scheduling some friends of mine to join me as guest co-hosts in the coming weeks to be able to provide some content through the new year or into the new year, so that way the podcast still keeps some traction. We can still produce some really great content, and we can also hopefully still entertain our podcast audience. But with those couple of things going on, plus reading quite a few books, plus traveling quite a bit, I rejoined my book club back in Georgia. So I have actually made several more trips to Georgia than I anticipated here lately, and have been over there, gosh, probably 3 out of 4 weekends. I had not had as much weekend time as I previously had to be able to focus on maybe creating content for you all. So that's one of the reasons that content hasn't been created, or at least pushed out, for this particular channel just in the past maybe 2 weeks or so. I just needed to find a new source of inspiration, but also I just kind of needed to ensure that a couple other things were kind of dealt with before I kind of came back. And so I feel really good about that. I feel good moving into December. And what I'm looking forward to the most is those guest co-host spots. I have one of my friends from LA who is going to join me for a book that he has proposed. I have a friend of mine from Chicago who is also going to join me for a book that she has suggested as well. I have a therapist who is going to suggest a book, as well as one of my really good friends who has recommended a book that I have already read. I didn't read it until he suggested it. And then when I read it, I went through it so fast, I was already ready to talk about it. So that is 4 individuals that I cannot wait to talk about their books. Also, again, rejoined my Georgia Book Club, and so I'm reading those books as well as kind of coordinating those meetings, creating a logo for them, as well as kind of generating a book club name and kind of a little logo and slogan. So I've just kind of been working with some things kind of in person a little more than virtually, which really helps kind of my mental health when I get to interact with people on a one-on-one basis, on an in-person sort of basis, because I really do thrive in person. Christmas is coming up in December, and so on top of all of the podcast episodes that I plan to help create and produce, I will also be traveling back to Georgia in order to spend Christmas with my mom and get to see my friends, probably play some D&D, probably play some board games, hopefully get to go to a New Year's event, because I told one of my really good friends that if hell or high water, he was going to have a good New Year's. And he said, bet, because apparently he never has a good New Year's and he thinks he's cursed. So I plan to break that curse because I think that I bring a lot of good luck to New Year's. So at least I think I will for him. I don't know. I just want him to have a different experience. So hopefully we can find something fun to do. I found a dress at Altered State, which is just a little store that you can kind of run across in most kind of shopping centers or lifestyle centers or malls, which has some pretty cute little dresses, but it's frilly and it's fluffy and it's black, and I think it's perfect for New Year's. And I also got it on a really crazy good sale, so cannot wait to wear it. Don't know what I'm going to actually be doing, but we will be doing something. On top of all of that, what else am I doing? I feel like I have been creating products for an Etsy store, which I think I'm now up to between 50 and 60 items in my Etsy store. So that's kind of been one of my creative avenues I've been working on. And I would 100% appreciate if any of my viewers would go over there and just check it out and let me know what you think. I would 100% appreciate if you would like or subscribe to this channel. Again, I would love in the new year in 2024 to start bumping up my numbers. But I would also love to know, like, what do you guys want to hear from me? Like, that's one thing that I ask you guys is, like, what do y'all want me to talk about? Because I have started thinking that maybe I want to do a little bit of reactionary stuff, maybe once a week. But I would love to know, is there something out there that y'all feel is a gap in reactionary channels? Because I feel like we've got a lot of other things going on, or a lot of people covering a lot of things. But I could always cover something that I know pretty well. So you guys let me know down below, and we can always go from there. Anyway, we are just about done with our check-in. I hope you all are doing wonderfully. I hope the holidays are not too heavy when it comes to mental health and wellness and keeping on track with whatever your goals are. I know sometimes it's really difficult for me, mentally and physically, like I said. Just simply, I don't know. I think a lot of things can come up with family that we don't really, I don't know. Sometimes we don't even really realize until we're in the moment. And maybe we, like, kind of try to ignore it. But I think it really, like, the holidays can be hit and miss sometimes. Like, they can be really joyous and they can be really hard. So I hope that yours are more joyous than hard, and I hope that you have someone to share it with. And until next time, I will see you all on the next page. Have a great one.